This week, I am so excited. We are going to be learning about chimpanzees, and you will be doing an informative writing assignment this week on chimpanzees. These are the things that we're going to cover today. We're going to cover what are chimpanzees, what is their habitat, caring for their young, baby chimps, moving along, mealtime, and some other interesting facts. Before we get started, I want to go over some vocabulary that you might not quite understand as I'm reading the slides. So we're going to go over those first. So when I do read them in the slide, you will understand what I'm talking about. The first vocabulary word that you're going to come across is consume. And consume means to eat or drink. So I consume milk in the morning. That means I drink milk in the morning. Endangered. And that means seriously at risk for extinction. That means that they may die off. That's what extinction means. So they're seriously at risk for dying off or extinction. Facial expressions. What does that mean, facial expressions? Well, that means when you look at someone, you're communicating by making different faces. So my face might be smiling. That means that I'm happy. Maybe I'm frowning. That means I'm sad. So those are different facial expressions. Independent. So independent means being able to live on your own. So I'm very independent. I can live on my own. I'm an adult now. I don't need my mom and my dad anymore. So I'm independent. And the last one here is sign language. And you guys are familiar with that term probably. And that means communicating using hand signals. So just like we did in our performance in December, we did sign language as we sang our song. Chimpanzees. Did you know that chimpanzees are not monkeys? In fact, chimpanzees belong in the ape family. Monkeys have tails, but apes do not. So if you are ever wondering if you're looking at an ape or a monkey, look for a tail. So if you ever see a picture, you can just look for the tail and see if they have one or not. Habitat. Chimpanzees live throughout the African rainforest, woodlands, and grasslands. There was once millions of chimpanzees living throughout Africa. Now they are endangered species with less than 300,000 left living today. So there's that vocabulary word, endangered. So now that we know that endangered means that they're endangered of dying off or extinction, we know that there's less than 300,000 of them left living today, and that is not very many. It might sound like a big number, but it really isn't. And here's a map of Africa. Caring for their young. Yes, they are very caring to their young, just like humans are to their babies. Female chimpanzees normally have their first baby by the time they are 14 years old. The infants are very dependent on their mother for milk, protection, and food, just like human babies are. Young chimps stay with their mother for at least 5 years, but some stay with their mothers for their entire life. So it just depends if they're going to stay for 5 years or maybe they're going to move on. Well, they'll just continue to stay with them. Female chimps can have between 4 to 6 babies in her lifetime, but they normally only give birth to one chimp at a time. Baby chimps, oh my goodness, how cute are they? Baby chimpanzees can begin sitting up on their own at least 5 months old and stand with support at 6 months old. Baby chimps sleep with their mother for a few years until they become independent. So remember, independent, that is that vocab word. That means that they can do it on their own without help. Moving along. Although chimpanzees normally walk on all fours, They are capable of standing on 2 feet and walking upright. They are also able to swing from branch to branch, where they do most of their eating. When it's time to sleep, the chimps will find a safe spot in the tree. So they like to eat in the trees, which I think is really cool. Mealtime. So obviously that probably means what are the types of food that they eat? Chimpanzees are fruit and plant eaters most of the time, but they will also consume insects, eggs, and meat. So consume, there's that vocab word there, consume. So that means what are they eating? What are they taking into their body? They're taking in insects, eggs, meat, fruit, and plants. They have a diet that consists of a variety of foods. In fact, chimps are one of the few animals that use tools to find and prepare their food, just like humans do. So we use spoons, we use knives, we use plates, right? So those are the tools that we use to help us cook food and to eat food. And so chimps are very similar to us in that way, that they also use tools. They may use sticks to dig insects out of the logs, or use stones to smash open a tasty nut. Chimps will also help each other to find food. And here's some more interesting facts. Oh, what a cute picture. In the wild, chimpanzees live in large groups of 15 to 120 members. So they live in large groups of people. Chimps communicate through noises. They make hand gestures and facial expressions. So they make noises with their mouth, they do hand gestures with their hands, and you can also tell with their facial expression, just like in this picture here. So remember, facial expressions, we could tell if she's happy. So this monkey looks like he's happy or she's happy here. And then this one, it looks like he's kind of being kind of goofy, maybe he's laughing. Some chimps have been taught how to use sign language. Remember, sign language is using your hands and just like we did in our program, that you use your hands to communicate. Chimps have 32 teeth. They are not able to swim even though they live near water. That's an interesting fact. I did not know that. Chimps can live for more than 50 years. So not as long as humans, about half our lifespan. And that is it for chimpanzees. Next, you're going to be, maybe you've already watched it, but you will be watching a video of chimpanzees and from the Jane Goodall Institute. It's a really great video about mother chimpanzees and their children.